He got struck by lightning, not as a metaphor, not as a figure of speech, literally, a bolt of lightning while hanging on a cross on a Hollywood movie set, and he didn't stop. That should have been the wildest thing that ever happened to Jim Caviezel. It wasn't, not even close. The Passion of the Christ made $600 million. Every door in Hollywood swung open for him. He was untouchable. And then he touched the one thing they told him never to touch. He said yes to a movie about child trafficking, and the most powerful entertainment machine on earth looked at that film and decided it needed to disappear. Not get bad reviews, not underperform, disappear. 5 years. The film sat finished, funded, ready. 5 years. Rupert Murdoch's people allegedly said it directly. Touch this film, you're done in 3 years. Finished. That's not business, that's a threat. And Caviezel has said it publicly, on record, with names. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because Sound of Freedom wasn't fiction. It wasn't based on a rumor or a tip or Reddit thread. It was based on Tim Ballard, a real man, a 12-year veteran of Homeland Security, someone who spent over a decade reviewing material that would destroy most people in 12 minutes. And when that film was finally released independently, no studio, no marketing, no late-night softball interviews, just audiences. $200 million later, the industry that tried to erase it was left completely silent. Wait, let's stop right there, because that's not normal. A film with no studio backing, no A-list press tour, no algorithmic push, outselling studio tentpoles. Some people don't think that's a coincidence. Some people think that's a message. But the box office? That's not even the part that should keep you up at night. Caviezel was at an early screening, standing in the back, watching the crowd. And 3 times, at the exact same moment in the film, the entire audience reacted the same way, unprompted. No narrator, no cue, no graphic on screen. They just said it, out loud. Epstein Island. 3 separate screamings, same moment, same words. And Caviezel said he stood there in the dark thinking, oh, now I understand what we're actually fighting. Because this isn't just about a movie, this is about an architecture, a system. Tim Ballard spent 12 years watching how these networks actually operate, how children are moved, how transactions are hidden, how private islands and luxury jets create geography that puts the people at the top completely out of reach. He called it an 8-armed octopus. Cut one arm, it grows back. You have to take the head. And then the files started opening. The Epstein documents begin unsealing, not in one dramatic courthouse moment, slowly, deliberately, in waves. Names, emails, flight logs, dates, spreading faster than any legal team could contain. A sitting United States Congresswoman stood on the congressional record and read from those files out loud. She described an email referencing an 11-year-old, something called the permission to kill email, references to Snow White, and then she stopped and said she didn't know what to make of a word kept appearing, jerky. She said on record, I don't know what to really make of this. Nobody talks about jerky like this. A sitting congresswoman, on record, saying out loud that she's reading something she can't fully explain. Honestly, that moment alone should have broken the internet. It didn't, and that silence is its own story. Now let's talk about the border, because this is where the abstract becomes visceral. 85,000 unaccompanied minors crossed the southern border. No verified sponsors, no DNA confirmation, no confirmed safe destinations. Some of them under 5 years old. Processed, released, gone. Where did they go? Federal marshals ran a sweep across Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia. 72 missing children rescued in a few weeks. 72 kids. It was a blip. Meanwhile, people saw 1,000 articles about celebrity drama. That ratio should disturb you. And then there's Tim Ballard's first day on the job. Day 1. He saw images of 3 little boys, 7, 5, 3 years old. He said they looked exactly like his own children. He fell to his knees, dry heaved into a trash can, drove straight to his kids' school, signed them out, took them home, and sobbed on the floor. That was day 1. He stayed for 12 years. Wrap your head around that. 12 years. And when people asked what kept him there through everything he saw, he talks about 2 questions his wife asked him to carry. Close your eyes. You're at the end, talking to your maker. 2 questions. Could you have saved the kids? Did you do it? That's it. That's what kept him going. And now he's saying something that might be the most chilling thing in any of this. He's not worried about running out of work because the problem gets solved. He's worried about running out of work because the laws protecting children, quietly, get dismantled, culturally, in the name of liberation. But here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Oprah Winfrey's name appears in the Epstein documents 5 times. Now, appearing in documents is not a conviction. Proximity is not guilt. But some people have started mapping a pattern, and the shape of it is hard to look away from. Harvey Weinstein, 30 years. Photographed together, events together, shared circles. A young actress later said she walked toward Weinstein that night because Oprah was on his arm. She said meeting Oprah gave her complete confidence in him. Think about what that means. The trust Oprah built over 40 years, allegedly used as a bridge to a predator. After Weinstein's exposure, she gave the Me Too speech at the Golden Globes, became a face of the movement. Singer Seal posted photos of them together and asked publicly why someone present for decades was suddenly positioned as the solution. She never responded. Then John of God, a Brazilian faith healer, given a global platform on her show, presented as legitimate, now in prison. Her response? A sadness statement. Then Diddy. Years of presence at his events, the same gatherings now described in disturbing detail in federal filings. Then, public distance. And her school in South Africa, a dormitory matron arrested on 14 counts involving students. Case settled out of court, terms sealed. Some people connected to that school have raised questions about girls who can't be accounted for. No independent investigation, ever. That choice itself is a statement. Caviezel has a word for this: gatekeeper. Not someone pulling operational levers, something quieter than that. Someone whose cultural authority creates a zone where certain stories simply never get told because journalists understand what touching that story would cost them. The suppression isn't violent, it's economic, it's social. It's the quiet understanding between reporters and editors and producers that some names are simply off the table. And that understanding is the most powerful protection money can't even buy. Jordan Peterson said something in their interview with Ballard and Caviezel that cuts through it all. The human instinct when we hear about crimes against children is to say, these people are monsters, they're nothing like us. And Peterson's point, backed by decades of research, is that that response is exactly what lets the machine keep running, because nobody arrives there overnight. They're walked there, step by step, compromise by compromise, each one a little darker than the last. Ballard sat across interrogation tables from people inside these networks. He said they talked about children the way you'd talk about the weather, buying and selling kids like used car parts. And he said something non-human had made them less human. Educators, lawyers, clergy, not monsters from birth, people who made choices. And once you understand that mechanism, the question about everyone in proximity to these networks stops being simple. Caviezel has been saying at conference after conference, something is shifting. He calls it the event. The Epstein documents aren't an ending, they're a trigger. And he believes what comes next could involve hundreds, maybe thousands of whistleblowers worldwide coming forward all at once. The dam isn't broken yet, but it is cracking. A sitting United States Congresswoman is reading coded emails she can't explain on the congressional record. 85,000 children are unaccounted for. A film buried for 5 years made $200 million the moment real people got to see it. And a man who got struck by lightning on a cross is still standing, still talking, still naming names. The question Ballard's wife gave him, the one that kept him in the field through 12 years of the worst thing a human being can witness, is the question this ends on. You know what's in the files now. You know what investigators have seen. You know what one man gave up everything to fight. Could you have done something with this information? Did you?